All right, so something I always hear growing up about Daniel and his three friends is that they were resilient people and they had faith. You know, the situation of them having to bow and refusing to bow despite the death threat is something that is very fascinating. So I've always heard that Daniel and his three friends insisted that they would not bow and that God will deliver them. And even if God does not deliver them, they will still not bow. Now, growing up, that made sense to me. But in my journey, in my growth, I started looking at that statement afresh, and I was looking at the practicability of it, that the statement in itself doesn't really make so much sense to me, and I've heard it being preached by dozens of preachers across the globe. Now, they said they were not going to bow, and there was a death threat to that. So, if they were not going to bow, they were suddenly going to die. Now, if they would not bow, they said God would deliver them, and if God does not deliver them, they will still not bow. Now, I was wondering, if God doesn't deliver them, would there be any possibility of a situation of not bowing at all? So I went into the Bible myself to confirm for myself. And this is quite some years ago, and I was just sharing with someone recently, and it came to my mind to just make this public today. Now, I looked at the scripture that was being quoted, and it was Daniel 3 and 16, 17, 18, where the three guys said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king." So that is a definite statement. Our God is able to deliver us, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. So the next verse is where I believe the complication or the interpretation got lost. The next verse says, "But if not," this is the bone of contention, in my opinion. But if not what? They said, "Be it known unto you, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which you have set up." So verse 18 was saying, but if not what? So a lot of people, a lot of preachers in the past have interpreted it to be, if God does not deliver them, they will still not bow. And obviously that statement in itself cannot be practiced. It cannot hold. It's not doable. It's not workable. Because if God doesn't deliver you, you can't even have the opportunity of not bowing, right? You'll be dead. So, but if you look at the context, in the answer actually lies in verse 17 and 16. More in verse 17. Because in 17 they said, "If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not what? If the king does not throw us in the fire, we will still not bow." That is the fitting interpretation for this particular context. Any other thing apart from that is a hoax. So, but if not, if you do not throw us, if you change your mind that you will not throw us in this burning fiery furnace, we will still not bow. Right? I hope this blesses you. Thank you.